Welcome to Home Farm. Today we're going to be reviewing the Netatmo Presence Outdoor Camera, and we're going to be securing our Victorian farmhouse. We unboxed and installed this camera a week ago, which I will show you now, and then we'll give you our verdict. So we have the all-important camera and floodlight itself, along with the screws that we need to mount it with. This camera and floodlight is powered by an electric cable, so you will need an electric source. This is the floodlight, and the camera is located beneath that. It's the camera that replaces the motion sensor. When the camera detects activity, it can determine whether it's human, car, or animal, and it can then trigger the appropriate notification on your phone. Because this is a smart camera and floodlight, I'm going to download the app onto my iPhone, and I'll be able to select which notifications I want to receive. So what's going to be really helpful for us is that we'll now be able to set the notification levels at night. So if, for example, there are animals that are coming across the camera at night time, we can disable those notifications and only enable notifications for people or cars. In addition to that, because it's a camera, it also records, so any motion that it detects will be stored either on the SD card that's provided with the camera, or you can set it up, if you're really geeky like me, to record directly onto my Mac. The camera requires Wi-Fi access in order to be able to copy to my computer, but thankfully we have got Wi-Fi coverage outside. We are going to mount the camera in the corner. From our perspective, this is probably the best place to do it now, because the field of view is perfect. We get to capture the open garage, the driveway, the front door, and the second gate. I've got some excess cable left over that I used to connect our Netatmo weather station. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it through the back here. It's going to run all the way through to our power sockets that are just located on the other side of that wall. We have successfully installed the camera. As we can see, we've powered it up and it is now flashing, which means that we're going to do the next couple of steps to set it up. So that's it. The camera and the floodlight have been installed and configured. Now we're just going to give it a few days and see how they work. So here we are a week later. The camera is running flawlessly. The only issue we had was during the installation. It is a little bit fiddly. I would certainly recommend two of you to actually hold the camera. The little Allen key that you have to tighten is a bit difficult to access. It just helps when somebody else is holding the camera straight while you're trying to do that. But once it's installed, this camera is awesome. As mentioned earlier, this camera is capable of detecting and knowing the difference between cars, animals, and humans. So we set ours up to send notifications to our phones when it detects all three. For nighttime, we have changed our settings slightly in that it still records when it detects humans, cars, or animals, but it only activates the floodlights in the event that a human or a car is detected. This bit is a little bit technical and geeky, but it is quite important. This camera saves to an SD card, which you can't access on the actual camera itself. So you have the ability to either access the videos using your smartphone or tablet, whereby you're actually streaming the videos directly to your phone, or you can save them to Dropbox or FTP. The first thing that I did is I configured the camera to save all video recordings directly to Dropbox. While this was a cool idea, it wasn't very practical. The reason for that is that we are quite rural, and even though we have got broadband internet, it's not very fast. So what would happen is if we would walk out of the door a few times and it would detect human movement, it would start to record all of those videos and try to upload them to Dropbox. Now, because our connection isn't very quick, it was clogging up the actual internet, and it just wasn't practical for us. So one of the biggest plus points about this camera is that you can set it up to work with FTP. What that means is that now, instead of trying to upload the videos via the internet, it copies all videos across the Wi-Fi directly to my computer, which is much faster and much more efficient. You can get more of the technical information about FTP by visiting our website, which I've provided in the description below. One of the other really great features about this camera is its ultra-long detection of up to 20 meters, which in our case is perfect because we can cover the entire driveway. The infrared night vision on this camera is also very good. The neighbor's cat has a tendency of coming up to the front door during the course of the night, so we have captured some clips of that, which we'll share with you. And we've also got other clips that we've taken over the course of the last week that will just give you an idea of the video quality. So that's my take on the camera as a geek. You certainly aren't a geek. You've had the app installed on your phone for a week. So what have you thought?
I have been surprised at how good and it's been and how many benefits I found from it, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I didn't think that I would enjoy it as much as I have. I think that the biggest thing for me is that because we're rural, if we're a couple of fields away, we can see the front door, we can see the house, but we can't. It's too far away. So the people are like this tiny, so you can't see who it is. You can't identify who it is. So if, for example, we were miles away and we would see suddenly somebody appear or there was activity up here near the house, one of us would have to drop what we were doing and leg it back to the house as quickly as we could. And in some instances where it was just the postman or a delivery man who was just literally dropping a parcel and then leaving, by the time you got up here and you were out of breath and exhausted, the person had just dumped the stuff and walked off, and you kind of thought, oh god, and you had to go all the way back and start the project again. And it's just an interruption.
And what's really interesting on that point is that when you do get the notifications, you get a little thumbnail snapshot, so you can actually see who it is. And if you've got an Apple Watch, you also get a little thumbnail, so you can actually see whether it is the postman or the neighbor or whoever it is. So if it is the postman, you don't have to come rushing up. I've enjoyed that because now I do carry my phone with me pretty much everywhere. So now if it gives me a push notification, I can actually physically see who it is and just, it's okay, I can just leave it and carry on. Or if I see that it's a friend or a neighbor, then I actually make the effort to come back to the house as quickly as I can. So then that does make sense. Sometimes if you're expecting, like say a friend or a neighbor says, oh, I'll drop around later and drop off something. And so they're arriving, they're coming, so you are expecting that person, but you don't know what time. So then that's quite nice that you can be away from the house, and then when they do arrive, they know, you can say to them, don't worry, I'll see you and I'll know when you're there. So that's also quite cool. When if you're waiting for someone, you don't actually have to wait in the house for them, because we're watching you. Because we're watching everybody. And also, Leopold now has a concierge service. Definitely. So as soon as Leopold, and he's literally learnt it that quickly in a week. He's actually learned. It's really, really crazy, because he did used to come to the various doors and just try his luck and see if anybody was in the hallway or walking past, and then if there wasn't, he would just disappear really quickly and go and use the cat flap and come in and out of the house through the cat flap. But now he's figured out that actually if he sits there, we get a push notification to say Leopold's at the front door. And if we don't walk across fields to come and open the door for him, let's not go crazy. But if we are in the house and we're just in the kitchen, we'll walk around and actually open the door for him. But he's actually... he's cottoned on so quickly. He has cottoned on, and he's figured it out. So he actually now sits there and gives it a minute for us to come and open the door for him. So now he just has his own personal... concierge service, door service, and he's very happy with it. So it's worked out really well for him. He's had an upgrade of services. I think it's also been really great the fact that before with the spotlight coming on during the night, and it does shine into the house during the night, so you would wake up. Oh, I did. You kind of sleep through it, but I am very a light sleeper, so as soon as the lights came on in the driveway, I kind of woke up and I knew that something was happening, and that is really annoying. It's not only annoying for us though,
it's also annoying for the wildlife.
Yeah.
We don't want to be creating those light disturbances for wildlife at night, especially for things like bats
Definitely.
and owls, who, that's their time when they're most active. So they don't want to have constant massive spotlights shining in their face when they're trying to do. In fact, there was did you say about the owl?
No.
Yeah, so there was one night that the light kept on going on and off. I'm in the driveway and I woke up and I went to the window to check it. And it was pretty amazing, because right there on top of the spotlight there was this silhouette of this huge owl. I mean, he must have been about
He
this
was
big.
large.
I actually went and woke you up, didn't I? And said, you've got to come and see this, it's really cool. But he was sitting on top of the spotlight, and he was using it, actually. I think he was actually standing on top of the spotlight using it and looking down to see if there was any prey there. But he's I just don't think that we should be kind of disturbing the wildlife too much at night. So I kind of like the fact that we can actually turn it off for animals at night time, and we know that if it goes off, then it really, it's someone, or it's a car or something. So we actually do need to be aware of it. So from that perspective, I think it's also been really nice. The thing that we're considering installing more, because we've enjoyed them. We've enjoyed this one so much, and we've actually found it so useful.
And the other thing, we haven't actually activated this feature, but if you have got, for example, a pavement or a busy road in front of you, you can also set the actual zone to record or detect things closer to you, so that you aren't constantly getting notifications as cars or pedestrians are walking past.
That's really cool.
It's
really
clever.
cool.
It's clever.
Yeah, that's really cool. Because even, you don't have to be in the suburbs or in a city to have that. I mean, especially if you're on a country lane where, literally outside your door is a road.
Yeah.
So, there's quite a lot of little country village houses that don't actually have a front garden, and so their property actually stops on the road. We saw quite a lot of those. Yeah, and I've been impressed with the quality of the footage as well.
Great.
I just don't think I've seen... typically, you see kind of camera footage or CCTV footage on the TV, if it's on the news or something, and it's black and white and really grainy and you can't really see anything. But this, wow, it's fantastic.
But I've actually set that to record at the maximum resolution. There are 3 tiers, so you can actually go a little bit grainier. I suppose that would be useful if you are saving to Dropbox, where you are uploading files, because that would certainly save you, but then you're sacrificing the actual quality of the video, where at least here, the way that we've set it up, we're maximizing and getting the best possible quality footage. So overall, we've been very pleased with this camera. As Kirsten said, we're probably going to buy a couple more to position them at different places around the property so we get full coverage.
So we hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. We hope to see you on our next video. Please subscribe and ring the bell, and thanks very much for watching.
Thanks, guys.